So you want to be on Dangertainment? Motherfucker. Dude, that was an Uncle Jerry. That was an Uncle Jerry style roundhouse.
See, Christian, I want to start always by going like, "Hey now," but like as
hey now.
The problem is, as the thing is playing, there's always like latency there, like a couple seconds, and then I'll go back and watch the episode, and all of a sudden, after the intro, you just hear, "Yeah, so blah blah," and it's like it didn't even pick it up. So I'm like, I can't even do that. You used to be able to do it like as it was fading out, and it just doesn't work on my end.
You gotta have the right touch.
I gotta have the right tech. Yeah. So, what's up, everybody? We said 2 episodes a month now because I crashed out on Christian. No, I didn't. But and we were like, you know what? We can do 2 a month. Let's do 2 a month. Everybody got excited. Here we are. I guess technically you're watching this at the beginning of August now. So, but you know what? You know what we mean. Okay. Now, before we get started, Christian, just want to tell everybody right from the top, in case they're expecting it. Full moon episode is next episode. The reason for that, a couple people have given me some recommendations. Demonic Toys is one that I've never seen that I've been told I need to see.
The emphasis, I got to stop you right there. Whoever told you it's Demonic Toys is wrong. You got to put the emphasis on the D instead of toys. So it's Demonic Toys.
Oh, okay.
That's how we say it in the South. That's how we say it in the South.
So there's a couple things I need to see, but that'll be the next episode, guys. And yes, we will dedicate a section of that episode to Puppet Master. I've been hearing you guys for years wanting to hear us talk about Puppet Master.
It's Puppet Master, by the way.
Not Puppet Master?
Master, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You gotta learn how to say these movies, right? Dude, you're gonna get clowned if you say these movies this way.
That's fine. That I'll piss off all 25 Full Moon fans. Like, it's what it is. But yeah, so a lot of stuff's happened over the last couple of weeks. A lot of things to talk about, man. But as we always do, exchange some pleasantries and all that bullshit. How's it going, man? How's it hanging down there in the South? Still like 2 inches to the right?
2.5 with the heat, thank God. Yeah. But I will say, I found this trail near my house. It's like a hiking, running kind of trail, and it's been really nice doing that. It's I pretty much run to the trail and then do it, and it's like this secluded thing, like under a bunch of trees and in the woods, and it's this path designated just for that. And I've really been enjoying that as opposed to just kind of running up and down my road, just cooking. So that's been really therapeutic and nice, and I've been really digging doing that, and I'm ready to go back to night shift, thank God, because I hate day shift. I love night shift, so I'm fixing to go back to that right now. Other than that, everything's been okay. I am pretty much over, the humidity, though, dude. It's so brutal. It's annoying breathing outside. That's how hot it is, I listen, not to get political, but like, I don't know about this. I don't know, guys, this global warming stuff, there may be something to it. It's getting hot.
You gotta call it climate change. You got to, because as soon as you call it global warming, people are like, oh yeah, why is the winter getting colder though? And it's like, well, but no. Listen, yeah, trust me, I do. But hey, guess what? You know what? I can't complain too much. My pool's operational. I've been in that bad boy this week, and it
looks good. Yeah,
I did it all by myself, dude. All of it, from the ground preparation to the setup to the chemical.
Pump looks like it's a little difficult to like kind of get it situated.
Yeah, I need to level that part of the ground, and then you want to put a piece of wood down there and sit it on the wood so it's flat. But
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of pieces to that pump. But yeah, I did everything by myself. I was honestly like, I was really intimidated by it. And, it's cool when you're like, I'm buying the pool. Hell yeah. And then you envision it when it's done. And then you're like, oh shit, I got to do all of this. So, yeah, but I did it and it was cool, man. It's nice. It's weird to have. I'm still not used to being like, oh, it's hot as fuck. I'll just jump in. Like, it's not something
Oh
I've
man, yeah.
ever had in my life. I've never had a pool in my life. So, but yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Although the weather's been milder here lately, dude. Upper 70s, lower 80s. Everybody else is talking, oh, it's 95. I'm like, I wish it was 95.
That's the one thing I would. That's probably my biggest reason for wanting to move. But like people tell me, like, oh, Christian, like I know you talking about moving to like Michigan or something one day, which that's just a state. That's the other. I say that state because I used to visit there when Sydney's parents were there, and it was like, but you don't know how to do the winter over there. I'm like, I'll fucking figure it out. Millions of people live in the northern part of the US. Like, I'll fucking figure it out. Like, you act like I'm moving to China tomorrow. Like, what the fuck you talking about? It's like, give me a break, but who knows, dude?
We had a snow last year here in Ohio. It was like 21 inches, I think.
That's
We had a
wild.
really bad snowstorm. It normally doesn't happen like that here. You get snow, but you're not getting 2 feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is crazy, people. You don't get it. You don't understand.
Let me
I'll
say
find
this
out.
to everybody listening, just because this is not horror related, but I got to say this. I saw the new Spider-Man movie last night. And unlike Superman, like I had a good time watching it. I can't review it because I don't get these movies. I don't follow the storylines at all. I had no fucking idea what was going on. But I like John Bernthal because like he's a bad motherfucker. Like it was like an expendable. And so it brought a little bit of like coolness to the film. Like for Superman, like I don't get it, Nick. Really quick, I gotta say this. Like, I went and saw Superman with my buddy. My boss from work is a big fan of movies and stuff like that. So we go see movies sometimes. And he took me to IMAX to see Superman. And I swear to God, the movie was like Fisher Price. Like, it was such a baby, goo goo gaga type of movie. And I'm watching all these people my age and older, these dudes just like gawking at it. And they're like, this is what I've been hoping for. And then there's this video clip of the guy playing Superman and James Gunn having this intimate back and forth. You know what I'm talking about. But when I say the line, is this what it mean to be human? And then James Gunn is like, but you need to understand, that's the moment. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like, who are you kidding? James Gunn will be the most hated man in 2 years. Mark my fucking words. Mark my words. He will be the most hated man in 2 years because he's like, people that dedicate their lives to these types of movies, I swear, dude, they think that they know what they're fucking doing. And the reality is they keep pumping these goddamn movies out like there's no tomorrow. These movies, it's like these movies come out so fucking often that I truly don't know how they're going to make money in 2 years from now. Like, did anybody go see the Super Broad movie, Supergirl? It's not even Superwoman. It's Supergirl. Who's going to see this movie, Nick? It got trashed, didn't it? It made like $60. Who's going to see this? People don't want to. You got to space this shit out.
Yeah.
At least when those Iron Man movies were coming out when I was in high school, it's like they seemed like a big deal, dude. Like AC/DC was doing the soundtrack. You remember that? You know, the AC/DC was doing the soundtrack to it as a big fucking deal. And now it's just like, dude, these movies come out every 3 months. What are they doing? Like, I don't get it. And then I'm just going to say it. Nothing special happened in this fucking Spider-Man movie. Like, I'm waiting for somebody incredible to pop up. Nothing. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sure everybody with likes these movies knows every fucking thing about them before they come out because they can't help themselves but read every dirt sheet about them or every, whatever article to see what they can find. Nothing happens in this fucking movie, dude. Nothing. Nobody showed up. So I don't know, but it was better than Superman. I'm sorry. Like, to me, it was. At least it had an edge to it. Like, people were cursing and shit,
Yeah. I mean, I went. So first off, I just want to say, I was someone that enjoyed Superman, but I was not goo goo gaga over it. You know, I do think though that specific scene that you're referencing and that the dialogue they were having back and forth, that's probably the best scene in the movie because that is the moment where like he does kind of realize his humanity and who he is and why he's here and stuff. And that is a great moment. But I agree with you. That movie wasn't like, as much as I did enjoy it, that's not going to change my life. I still think that Man of Steel is probably the best Superman movie that I've seen. And while I didn't like pretty much anything Zack Snyder did with Superman after that movie, I love Man of Steel. So now, like you said, Supergirl, no one went and saw it. But Superman,
who is that? When how long has Supergirl been around? Like when did this happen?
Decades. Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah, but she's never been popular in film, at least. Like there have been adaptations of Supergirl before, and you've never heard of them or seen them because nobody did, because nobody gave a shit. So I don't know why they're still trying to make that a thing, but whatever.
But here's the thing, dude. It's like, why is it that in the Superman movie, and we'll move on because I don't want the audience to get upset with me. Why is it in the Superman movie the villain is 5'3", 90 pounds, and you remember that scene in Waterboy? No, Grandma, I didn't get the playbook back. I just hate him. I hate him. You remember that scene? Mm-hmm. That's his character in the fucking movie. He's a sissy Mary. Like, what are we doing? Like, where's the threat? I don't get it. These are grown ass men in the theater on their feet, hipping and hawing at this shit. Well, it's like for kids. It's like everybody told me to watch that other one. They said, Christian, the one that Zachary made, it's great. It's the real deal. And I was like, it may be. I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it, but they all told me that. Oh, you got to watch that other one. It's the real deal. That one, they got some ass kicking in that.
So, did you watch it?
I don't know. No, I didn't watch it. His movies are too long. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Dude, Man of Steel is really good. Man of Steel is really good.
Everybody told me, maybe one day I'll get around to it. Just to say, and for people saying, well, Christian, why are you watching this shit? My boss wanted to go see it. And we went to a new theater we haven't been to before. And I wanted to go see the theater. And I want to hang out with my boy. He's my friend. So we went and saw it. And like I said, I actually enjoyed it. But I don't know what the fuck's going on in these movies. None of it makes any sense to me. I feel like I'm watching, season 4, episode 8. And I just turned on the TV. So I don't know what's happening in them. But anyway, I just don't get it, Nick. Like I literally never talk about these movies because I don't want to just shit on stuff that they're not for me. No, I'm not saying they're bad movies. I'm saying they're not for me.
I didn't go see Spider-Man, and the reason being is, like, I'm going to be totally honest with you. It shows my age, but like, it's just not my bag at this point. The Tom Holland MCU Spider-Man, like, I went and saw No Way Home because I knew Toby and Andrew were going to be in it. That's why everybody went and saw that damn.
I kept hoping he was going to show back up again. I would have told you one of them.
And so, like, I really dug that movie, but this new iteration of Spider-Man is just not my thing, man. Like, I'll stick to my Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
They're such a lighter shade of gray now that I think that's what really makes me say, I don't know. I just ain't for me. They're the shade of
you go back and watch those Raimi ones, dude. Those things, they got some horror elements. In Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock's arms are cutting people up in the operating room. That shit's gnarly.
Yeah, that's what I just wish it was darker. But maybe that was that era. This is this era. I don't know.
It is. And this
I'm going to turn my AC down a little bit, but I can hear you. I've got headphones on. Just talk to the audience for a second.
And I don't want you to take that as either one of us talking shit. I'm not saying we're old, but we're older than the target demographic for the MCU Spider-Man, I think. Like, that was really popularized 10 years or so ago. And so by that point, Christian and I had graduated high school. Like, so it was more for a younger generation. This is their Spider-Man. And that's awesome, man. Like, that's I love when these characters continue. Like, that's part of the reason why I want to see these horror characters continue, because I feel like you can reinvent them for new generations.
And we're going to talk about that. We're going to fucking talk about that.
We're about to get,
I'm fucking pissed.
We're about to get right into it. But I just want to say, like, So that's really cool to me. Like, bring these characters back, repurpose them for new generations. That's awesome. It may not be like the Blumhouse trilogy of Halloween. Largely, I thought it was just okay when it was all said and done. There were highs, there were lows, but a whole new generation of people got into Michael Myers from those movies, and that's awesome. Like, I'm super happy for them. But speaking of new generations and old IPs, Christian, what the fuck, man? You want to break this down as somebody that understands these rights issues better than probably most?
I don't understand the rights issues.
I can pull up the article. You want me to pull it up and share my screen?
Yeah, if you have it. Otherwise, I was getting it right now.
Okay, but I don't think you can share your screen, can you?
I could read it to the audience because people. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I got it right here. Warner Bros. Reportedly developing international Nightmare on Elm Street. And by the way, this isn't even my gripe. My gripe started before this shit happened. Warner Bros. Reportedly developing international Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Lee Cronin. Last November, Robert shared us God, bloody disgusting. Can I give you guys a bit of advice? Cut out all the extra bullshit.
For real.
Okay, anyway. We bring this up.
Get a new reviewer. Get a new reviewer. Megan Navarro sucks.
Okay. Sources with knowledge of the matter think Paramount figured out by the time their movie got underway, the Warner Mount deal would have closed and Warner would be compelled to release the Paramount version overseas. But Warner's Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdy didn't care for that plan. Now they're looking to make their own movie, which they can only distribute overseas, and are in talks with Lee Cronin to produce, write, and direct. So essentially, this sounds like Friday the 13th bullshit, where, it's the same thing. While the Craven estate has the domestic rights to the, why do they say estate? I don't get that. Is that just like what does that mean? Why can't they just say, well, the family of Wes Craven? Is that what estate means? Like,
no, an estate is like his estate is all of his intellectual property, all of his physical property, like his trust, like all of that. It's an estate.
It's a legal term.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let me just back up so I can give the audience a little bit more context. While the Craven estate has the domestic rights to Craven's original Elm Street screenplay, Warner Bros. New Line actually retains the international rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street. And Puck News reports this week that the Warner Bros. Is actively developing their own Nightmare on Elm Street movie to compete with the announced Paramount project. First off, I just see this. I'm going to be honest. I think half of me thinks this is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Who the fuck is Puck? Number one, who is Puck? And anyway, this doesn't make any sense. How on earth can Warner Bros. Do an Elm Street film with? I'm lost. How does this make any? How does this make any sense to begin with? Has this ever happened in the history of movies before, where at the exact same time two movies are being made? One in America and one out of America.
No, dude, this is very clearly who's going to blink first. Like that's what it is. This is not going to happen. You're not going to have two movies go into production. Absolutely not. And I actually read Brad's breakdown on Dread Central, and he got a little bit more into it. And he was basically like, at the end of the day, this very much seems like whichever project gets off the ground first, the other one is going to waver. So it's. And he quoted somebody from Paramount that said, we've got a race to the finish or something like that on our hands, and we're going to be the first to do it. Like,
well, my thing is this: why, if you're Paramount, why are these? If they have the overseas distribution and this company has the, well, I guess that makes sense because if Paramount, but is that even a thing anymore, Nick? Do studios sell the movies internationally like they used to? That used to be a thing all the time. But nowadays, don't studios just distribute their movies themselves all across the world? Like back in, especially home video, anybody outside of America, if they have a VHS of Friday the 13th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's got Warner Bros. On it. If like in the UK, excuse me. Now in Germany, they had their own different label. Yeah. But like selling the overseas rights was a huge thing back in the day to fund the projects to begin with. But we're far past doing that story. Does that even happen anymore?
Well, you're right. It's increasingly rare these days, but it does happen. And it actually did just happen with Evil Dead.
With what?
Evil Dead.
Oh, really?
Evil Dead was distributed internationally by Sony. So Sony has the distribution rights internationally. And
Very
then
interesting.
New Line has the distribution rights domestically. So, yeah.
And that's another thing. Anytime I bring this up about Paramount doing Elm Street, and they don't have to worry about illegalities with Warner Brothers because they bought the script from the kids. So it's like it has nothing to do with them at this point. People are like, yeah, well, the thing is, though, I don't think that sale is going to even go through to begin with. And I'm like, what am I missing?
It already did.
It's not like people, and that's what I thought, but it's not
wait. The sale from the estate to Paramount, or are you talking about the merger?
Not the sale from the estate to Paramount, but the merger. And I'm like,
the merger is absolutely going. The DOJ is not going to. You can
now break that down for me. Break that down for me, because it's a monopoly thing. Yes. That's and the Department of Justice can say no. This is too much of a control.
Well, the Department of Justice can, if Congress fails to do so. However, there are some people in Congress that are against this, but they don't have. There's not enough. So Congress is not going to be able to do anything about it. So then it's going to go before the DOJ, and I don't give a shit about anybody's opinions or, where you stand here or there. The fact of the matter is Larry Ellison believes the head of Paramount, if I'm not mistaken, and the president are tight. So there's absolutely no way the DOJ is not going to approve the sale. It's going to get approved.
The fix is in.
Yes. So basically, you can. We're going to sue, and it's going to get held up in a lower court for a couple weeks or a month or two. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when you run out the clock on all of the avenues that they have, and let me just tell you guys, and Christian and I talked about this months ago on Uneeda when this was announced. Neither one of us likes this. We don't want a monopoly. We don't want these companies to merge. However,
of course not.
The inevitability of it is the inevitability. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. I think they said it's going to be at some point in the next calendar year. So, or I think at the latest I read was the latest would be winter of 27. So it's going to happen. So any hope and dream you have that it won't happen is ridiculous. That being what it is, this also confuses me, because if these two are going to fucking merge, what is the point of these dueling factions? And frankly, Brad broke that down in his piece and was like,
do you have that pulled up?
I can pull it up right now. But
because Brad, that would be that would be beneficial to me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to misquote him either, so I'll just pull it up.
We got to get this right for the audience.
Yeah, there might be a second or two of latency here when I go to share my screen, guys. So bear with me here. But let me close my Sarah J tabs. No, I'm just kidding.
I have a whole computer just for that.
All right, so where's that? Oh yeah, R.I.P. Chuck Russell, by the way.
Very sad. Rest in peace. God bless him.
Here it is. All right.
By the way, Ice Cream Man looks so fucking stupid.
Oh, it's going to be, I think it's going to be horrible, but it might be gory. So, well, it is going to be gory. All right. So can you hear me, Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a few weeks ago, horror fans were stunned when Paramount announced that it had secured the domestic rights to Wes Craven's original A Nightmare on Elm Street screenplay and would develop the next incarnation of the franchise under its new Primal Pictures banner alongside J.D. Lifshitz and Raphael.
Lifshitz!
Yeah, I know. Whatever. With the full support of the Craven estate. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so as we discussed before, the legal situation surrounding Nightmare is complicated. Following Craven's death, attorney Mark Toberoff helped the Craven estate regain the domestic rights to the filmmaker's original Nightmare on Elm Street screenplay, which are now controlled by the estate. Warner Brothers, however, continues to hold the international rights, creating an unusual situation where neither studio possesses complete worldwide control of the property. Then he went on to quote the Puck News story, and he said, while I can't independently verify every detail in Puck's report, I will say this. I've heard remarkably similar chatter from multiple industry sources over the last couple of weeks. That doesn't automatically make it true. Hollywood is full of posturing, strategic leaks, and competing narratives. But enough people have been telling the same story that it's hard to dismiss outright. If true, That would mean the filmmaker behind Evil Dead Rise and The Mummy could be developing an entirely separate Nightmare on Elm Street for Warner Brothers. A source close to Paramount, Primal, told Puck the domestic rights deal for the original Nightmare on Elm Street screenplay was negotiated independently and was not based on any expectation beyond the domestic rights themselves. Now he is kind of breaking down here, like, according to the report, blah, 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 blah. Okay, one thing I do think is worth emphasizing is Paramount's argument that it has the blessing of the Craven estate. Whether you're talking about legal rights or fan goodwill, that matters. Wes Craven's family is choosing who they believe should carry forward his legacy. And I think horror fans should pay attention to that. Blah, 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 blah. Perhaps the most fascinating part of the report is what could happen next. Masters writes that Warner Brothers' apparent strategy is to beat Paramount into production, potentially forcing Paramount to reconsider its own film. Paramount, however, doesn't appear interested in backing down.
Fuck yeah. I don't think, don't ever run from, I just want to say real quick, don't ever run from a fight. I say, if this is true, even though I think this is ridiculous, fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah. Paramount should just still make, imagine 2 Predator Cougars at once.
Well, one insider summed up Paramount's mindset. I think we've got a bit of a race. We're going to do our fucking damnedest to beat them. If this reporting is accurate, horror fans could be witnessing one of the strangest studio battles in recent memory. It's important to note that much of this remains unconfirmed outside of Puck's reporting, and neither Paramount nor Warner Brothers publicly commented on the story. But if the behind-the-scenes negotiations are unfolding the way they described, A Nightmare on Elm Street has become far more blah, 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 blah. So yes, basically what he is saying, and by the way, let me just say this.
I agree. I saw something that you didn't read it, but I think the writer said if Warner Brothers' strategy is announcing Lee Cronin, I think it's a bad idea. And I totally agree. Lee Cronin makes the same movie over and over again. Does that mean he makes bad movies? No. Does it mean he makes the same movies? Yes. Anybody that saw The Mummy saw it already when they saw Evil Dead Rise.
Not just that, Christian. In the report, and Brad,
Lee Cronin's on Nightmare on Elm Street. Fuck you. Fuck off.
Lee Cronin would be writing it as well.
Fuck off, dude. Lee Cronin's a Nightmare on Elm Street. You gotta have some fucking balls to say that.
Yeah. Look, what it sounds like from Brad's reporting and the things that I've been able to gather too is that it does seem like one of them wants the other side to blink first. However, Paramount's going to win this, and they should, because Paramount is going to be the one consuming Warner Brothers by the next year or so, first of all. Second of all, Paramount is the one that made the deal with the Craven estate, and Paramount also has it in good with the federal government. I'm sorry.
So, when you say that, when you say Paramount is on the side of the Craven estate, that means Paramount has paid money to license the script, essentially. Like so they've already got money into it.
Yes, they struck the deal has been struck with the estate. So that ink is dry. They've paid them. They now have the rights to that. And Brad also mentioned in that article, because people keep saying this, and it's honestly really funny to me. Oh, shot for shot remake, a shot for shot remake. No, not at all. Brad said in the article, it is the rights to the original screenplay. It does not have to be a shot-for-shot remake.
No, it doesn't have to be a shot-for-shot remake, but it does give them the rights and the usage of 1428 Elm Street, the character of Nancy, the title and name Freddy Krueger. Like, they need that to use any, because Larry Zerner, if anybody's ever watched him talk about the Friday the 13th stuff, he's an entertainment lawyer. The guy, and anybody, he's Shelley from Friday 3. Very prominent entertainment lawyer. And I heard him say this specifically. He goes, when you get the license or the ownership of a screenplay, you own the IP of everything and anything that is a derivative from that screenplay. So if it's a daughter of a character, you have that right to use that. So anything that's a derivative from the screenplay, you own that as well. You have that IP. It has to be completely original for you not to get in any sort of legality with the owner of that screenplay or the licensee of that screenplay. So yeah, Paramount, if they've already got money into it, dude, here's the thing. If this was Roger fucking Corman, this movie would be coming out next week. Like that's what I miss about the independents, man. Like Roger, he'd have had that shit bought. They would have been, fucking script would have been written in half a day. They would have gave a guy cocaine and said, right. And then the next day they'd have been scouting. Then the day after that, they'd be filming. Like this movie would be coming out next week if this is Corman. You know.
Well, and so here's the interesting question that I have for you, though. You should know this. I know you know this as a Freddy fan. I don't know. I don't know if you know the answer here. I don't know if Paramount owns the rights to the red and green sweater because that was not part one. And that was a really interesting point I saw somebody bring up in an article a couple weeks ago. The red and green sweater, as you know, is not what he was wearing in part one. It was more of a yellow. So are they going to own the red and green?
You can't. I don't know that you can copyright a shirt.
They copyrighted Jason's mask.
They did. I guess you're right. I mean,
and would you put it past Warner Brothers, especially given this reporting? Would you put it past them to be like, you're not using the red and green sweater? We'll sue the fuck out of you.
Yeah, that was my question is, do they have the power to do that? Maybe they do. You know,
I don't. That's why I'm asking you. I genuinely don't know. But in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, that is like
it's solid red sleeves. No, it's red and green. It's just solid. It's red and green, but the sleeves.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yes.
Okay, BFD.
Not that way.
BFD. Yeah. Just do solid reds. Just do solid red sleeves.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care myself, but I do know there are people that would care.
Yeah. Well, they can listen to those people that would care. Let me just repeat myself. Our world is in shambles right now. Just please get over that.
Just
like I'm begging you to get over that.
And of course, this news would drop when I was on vacation. I was literally in line for a ride, and the first person I reached out to was Christian. Just to be like, well, you know, I didn't even like give context. I think I just said like, well, it's.
And I was more concerned. I was more concerned about Crystal Lake, to be honest with you, because I am excited for the show.
The trailer looked really good. It really
does.
I showed
and
it to my mom.
Carlini is a dude. She is a I'm not going to be like a creep. I'm just going to say she is a beautiful woman. She's easy on the eyes. And I tell you, she's got that X factor where I want to see her taken care of. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you see her on screen, I don't want nothing to happen to her. Like, that's a rare trait for an actress to get. Or any actor, not even an actress. Like when you literally don't want I don't want nobody to harm her at all. She's got that X factor. I think this is brilliant casting. I think it's a great choice. But we could talk about Chris Lake if you want to. I'll tell you why I'm excited for it later on. But listen, I mean, as far as the sweater, that's a good point. Okay, BFD. If anything, it's kind of cool to go back to the OG style of sweater anyway. You know, my biggest problem, I'll just get right into it. I'm at the point now, it doesn't matter if I say they shouldn't do any more. Robert is Freddy. And I got news for you. He is. He absolutely is. Stallone is Rocky. Robert is Freddy. And Freddy is Robert. Every blink of an eye, every syllable, every mouth movement, tongue roll, breath, step, scratch, scrape, shoulder drop, hat brim hit, backward step, turn, head tilt, every drop of it is Robert, down to the millisecond. Okay? So there's this gentleman that's going viral all over the internet that looks like Robert, that sounds like Robert. Well, let me say this. I'm going to be totally fair. Am I impressed by that? I kind of am.
100%.
His tone, his look. Here's the thing. If they hire this guy, and I like him, he seems like a really cool guy, he will get destroyed online because the studio will say, what, no originality? You guys are just going to try to literally copy Robert? Literally to like the T, you're going to cosplay Robert Englund? That's what we're doing? The only way I think this stands a fucking chance is to do a 1,000,000% original take on this character. Does that mean changing the story? No, not necessarily changing the story, but a person with an idea on how to portray this villain, it has to be original. It has to be unique. It has to be a guy, a person that has an idea of, okay, if I was doing this, I would almost say, in how many ways, and what ways could I be different from Robert?
Mhm.
What ways could I do this differently?
Mhm.
You know, that's why WCW beat WWF in the 90s. Eric Bischoff said, I'm going to watch what WWF is doing, and I'm going to see what could I do differently from them to make people say, oh, they're doing it this way. Let me watch them. I genuinely think you have to do an original, completely unique look. A different size of Robert, a different shape fucking head. Well, not necessarily that, because anatomy is we can't help our anatomy per se, although there's makeup involved. I want to see a completely, absolutely, positively to the fucking slash heel kick original take. That's what I want, because we're at this point. I'm not going to say they shouldn't do. They shouldn't fucking do it. Why can't they come up with anything original? Guys, do you know how many fucking millions they made off the Conjuring universe? That was an original. Shut up. Like, okay, shut up. Go fuck yourself. How about you have how about you have an original thought? You know, number one. But
They
my
actually
point is,
made billions, over 2
thank you.
billion. Yeah.
But my point proves my point. But but I'm serious about this. I'm dead as a serious. I'm as dead serious as a heart attack. I want somebody that does absolutely zero like Robert. I don't want to trust the actor that I see on screen. I don't want to trust him. I don't want to see a Freddy that I'm like, oh, what's he going to say next? Is it going to sound like Robert? Oh, he even had the growl like Robert. No, I don't want to trust the guy that I see on the screen when I go to see him. Okay? That's what I want. And if you want to see Robert Englund over and over again, okay, you know, that's your opinion, and I got to respect that. But as far as I'm concerned, the only thing that makes sense to me is doing something incredibly original. That's it. So I don't remember the gentleman's name. I am impressed by his candor. He's very good. Do you know his name? Mike Levy. God bless him. I think he's incredibly talented.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna try to replicate Robert for this. Nick, let me ask you something, Nick. What if Christopher Nolan said, I want you to go watch Jack Nicholson. The people love that. I want you to do that for this movie, Heath.
We wouldn't have.
What's the best part about those movies? Exactly. The most original take on that character you'll probably ever see.
Mm-hmm.
I rest my fucking case.
Yeah, and I'll just say this too. I want to clarify for anybody. I agree with everything Christian said. Mike Levy looks like Robert, sounds like Robert, and God bless the guy. I mean, he is out there he wants to get the word out there. And I mean, again, if you were going to do that, if you were doing a legacy sequel and you couldn't have Robert back and it was like, well, we have to have Robert's Freddy, that would be your guy, 100%. But I said this in a live stream last week. Christian and I have talked about this before over the years. I don't want to see a Robert Englund impersonation. I don't want to see it. And that's just me. One of the best things, even Christian agrees with this. One of the shining lights of that remake in 2010, and there aren't a ton of shining lights in that movie, but one of them is Jackie Earle Haley. He was different. He tried different things. He even brought a really, really cool aspect to the character of doing this with the glove. I really liked that. Like, you know, rubbing the knives together. That was cool. Like, it was different than Robert. His cadence was different. His voice was different. It didn't seem like he was trying to be Robert Englund. It's the same thing as Malcolm McDowell in Halloween. He was going to watch Halloween, and Rob told him, don't. I want you to do your own thing. Don't try to do Donald. And so he didn't. And it worked. So many people hated Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. They're wrong, by the way, but nobody really shit on Malcolm. Malcolm was really good as Loomis.
They cannot like the character, but they can't say it's not original and unique, because it absolutely is.
And that's what we need here,
the thing.
man.
I would rather see, and this is just me, I would rather see an Elm Street with a completely new take on the character from an actor with their own unique vision and a director with his own unique vision and not like it, than see a movie that feels like a throwback with a guy that can look and sound just like Robert. I would rather not like the movie with an original take than watch something that tries to feel like Robert. And part of me just feels the nostalgia for it. I would rather see the movie I wouldn't like.
Yeah.
Again,
And
if you want to, do you think Christopher Lee said, well, I got to be just like Bela Lugosi?
no. And I don't think you could say, if you watched Christopher Lee's performance, could even say that. I don't think anybody. Yeah, they're totally different.
It's I just, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like, God bless the guy. Again, I like him. I think he's talented. There's no way the studio would even entertain that. There's zero chance they're not going to entertain that.
They're going to go. Here's okay. So I mean, to put a bow on this, at the end of the day, like, this is really exciting news because, you know, Nightmare's my second favorite franchise. It's Christian's favorite. You know, seeing Freddy come back is going to be really cool. I have some faith in Paramount because it's Paramount. I think that
at the very least they will make a ton.
Yes.
By the way, where's Smile 3? I'm ready for Smile 3.
I know. And not just that, at the very least, I know they're going to put some money into this. They're going to market this thing. Like, this is not going to be some bullshit one-off. They want to make this their next. They want to make this what it was 30, 40 years ago. They just do. Like, that's a fact. So I've got some hope there. But like you said, it's just something about, like, knowing it's coming back and it's going to be a new iteration. And you know what? Give me something totally different. If it sucks, at least it happened. We tried it, because we've been stuck in this quagmire for almost 2 decades of they're too afraid to try again. They're too afraid to try again. You might as well just try again. It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't. If anybody wants to have, claim, oh, well, Freddy and Jason and Michael, they all, they were from the 80s. They need to stay in the 80s. These movies are never going to live up to that. I'm sorry. No, you wouldn't say the same thing about Dracula. Maybe you would. You'd be wrong. Or Frankenstein or the Invisible Man or the Wolf Man. There have been adaptations of those original works that are damn good. Sure, there's been some swings and misses. But if there's a 50-50 chance it's going to be good, if there's a 25-75 chance, I'm willing to take that.
You just never know. I mean, the amount of people that probably thought the Invisible Man was going to rock the house was probably a very short list. Mm-hmm. And it did. It fucking rocked the house. And it was an original, unique not taste, unique take.
It probably was a unique taste too. I just tasted it, but
I want here's my
Wolfman 2010. Wolfman 2010 is fun as hell.
It's a great. Yeah, I remember telling you, I was like, Nick, it's a fucking great movie.
I watched it.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen when all this is said and done. And this is just the reality, the pessimistic look on things. I can already see my video in 2 years. It's going to say, Dear Nightmare 2010, I apologize. That's going to be the name of the video, and you'll know exactly what that means. Because these movies will come out like ass. Thankfully, we're out of the Stranger. Well, I don't know. The reality is, thankfully, we're out of the Stranger Things aesthetic, or at least we're creeping out of that era. And I like that era, but it's been played out. I really think it's just been entirely played out, which is why I think I was one of the only people that gave a little bit of grace on that Fear Street prom thing. Cause I said, I don't think it's bad, but the reality is I've seen this a billion times at this point. If this came out in 2015, people would be like, holy shit, this is incredible. It's played out. It is played out. So what's the aesthetic now? I don't know. Right now, it's kind of it's who's going to set the bar, who's going to set the trend. If we look at what's going to set the trend, it could be Curry Barker. It could be low lighting, moody, modestly budgeted stuff, or at least the look of modestly budgeted stuff. and they go with that route. Like, what's the aesthetic of 19, 20-year-old people now? I don't know. Nobody leaves our house anymore. So like, what do people, how do people socialize? What do people do? I don't know. You know, it's like, I have no idea. I'll tell you this too. I have no problem with a prequel.
Me neither.
I really don't mind it. Like, if we want to go back in time and do the real story,
give us the fleshed out Freddy's Nightmares episode.
I had an idea. I had an idea to bring Robert back for a movie. You know, it was it was a complete retelling though. He went to prison. They did sign the paperwork. He went to jail. Present day, 78 years old, he gets out. And then the family, the descendants, the grandkids, they know that he's out, and they kill him. And then he comes back as old man Fred. You know?
Hey, I think you could sell Robert on that too. He is very like,
I respect him though. He goes, I'm too old. No, I'm not doing it.
I know,
but I respect that.
I did say this in my video, breaking it down. What the things that I want to see. I want to know if you at least agree with this. Maybe you think it's too on the nose. I don't really care. I want him to have a cameo. I want him to have some kind of cameo. I don't care if he's like the teacher in the front of the classroom for one scene. I think he should have a cameo. He should be involved in this in some way. I know that Robert would do that. He would definitely cameo in it. Fucking Bob Shea, Len Shea. These motherfuckers were popping up in these movies. Fucking Tom Arnold. Like, Robert should have a cameo. He should have a cameo. Do you disagree?
I gotta disagree with you, not because I don't want to see it, but I think it would be a tug of war with my original argument a little bit. I want a completely original take. And how about this? Let me meet you halfway. If they do a cameo with him, I don't want to recognize him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did you know that was Robert, Christian? What are you talking about? That guy in the back. And then
like
go,
an Evil Dead Rise thing where they had Bruce's audio recording on the vinyl, but you didn't see.
That's fair. I'd be okay with that. I'm serious, dude. Like, I would rather not like a completely original take than seeing nostalgia bait that I honestly would enjoy, but ultimately would just make me want to go rewatch Robert's movies.
Yes. And we got to be honest.
I'm serious, dude. Heath Ledger's Joker is the fucking best example. I want you to imagine he tried to just do Jack Nicholson in that movie.
No, I'll even take
he that. He was a psychopath in 2008 movie. He was incredible. I don't even like superhero movies. I can't deny that's probably one of the best dramatic performances I've ever fucking seen.
I hear you on that, and I will just say another in-universe example there. Joaquin Phoenix with Joker. He didn't look at Heath Ledger and go, I need to do Heath Ledger. He did his own take too, and it was fucking awesome. He won an Oscar. And
can I stop you just right there?
What?
Because you just said my pick for Freddy Krueger.
Joaquin? Holy shit.
I've never heard anybody say that yet, and I've never verbalized it. You just said my pick for Freddy. I'm not even remotely kidding.
That's wow. It's scary how much
I want somebody with the fucking talent to do something original.
Yeah. Joaquin.
That's my pick.
Joaquin really.
Because originally, my whole thing originally was I don't want anybody to do this movie that I know who they are. And then I said to myself, you know what, Christian? You don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's a silly argument. And I really thought about it. And I said, I think he can do this. I think Joaquin's the guy. I'm not even kidding.
Here's your problem.
He's the guy.
Here's your problem with Joaquin. He has a very specific rule. He does not do sequels. The only sequel he ever did in his entire career was Joker. And the only reason he did that sequel was because he came up with the idea. Warner Brothers for years was pressing him and Todd Phillips about a sequel. And Joaquin was like, I don't do sequels. I'm not doing a sequel. And then as the story goes, he said he had a wild, fucked up dream about a sequel. And he woke up and started like jotting down shit from that dream and met with Todd Phillips and was like, this dream was wild. It was out there, but I honestly feel like this could work. And then Todd Phillips took it and ran with it and wrote a script. And sure, they paid him $20 million too. That didn't hurt. But Joaquin has been very open about that in his career. He's like, I feel like I say all I have to say with a character one time, and I don't need to do it again. So
I'm still okay with my pick, because I'll tell you another thing that I'll tell you this right now. This leads into my next thing. If they announce more than one movie, I will bet you my YouTube channel, my house, my cars, it will suck.
I'll bet you that if they announce more than one movie, like say a trilogy, it won't happen. You will not see 3 movies. If they announce a trilogy, it's not going to happen, because anytime you do that, you are sacrificing the quality of that first one, which is so important.
Leave it all out on the field.
Yeah, so important.
You hold back when you make 3 movies at once.
Exorcist Believer. They announced a trilogy before that movie is even done with production. It's in production, and they're like, we're doing 3 of them.
Bullshit.
You cannot sacrifice the quality of the one, and you've got to go all for it and leave it all. Yeah, like you said, leave it all out on the field. I'm telling you right now, I agree with you, but I was thinking about this the other day, and this was honestly crazy to me. Freddy and Jason, as iconic as they are, and rightfully so, and those franchises are, I have said for years and years, and I'm biased, but I'm like, oh, Michael's the king. Michael's the king. But part of the reason I say that is because they genuinely haven't. Their heyday was the 80s, and it's through no fault of their own. They've tried to come back multiple times, and aside from Freddy versus Jason, it just never had the cultural significance. Halloween did it with H2O. That was a big hit, not just commercially, but critically. They did it with Rob Zombie's Halloween. The critics lambasted that movie, but it made a shitload of money, and it just jump-started the remake craze. Wasn't the first one, but that was the one where people were like, let's remake everything. And then Halloween 2018, biggest slasher movie ever. So I look at that and I'm like, it is crazy to think that Freddy Krueger has not been on top of the world since 1989. There was a fleeting moment.
Listen, Freddy's Dead made even more money, but I get your point.
Yes.
But to answer you, to kind of respond to that, you're right, but the context is very important. They spent a decade and change trying to make one fucking movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
it's not the character's fault.
Yeah.
No.
And New Nightmare was probably marketed poorly. It came out
a few years too early. I have said for years that if that came out after Scream, that would have been a big hit. It just would have.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And
and then Friday the 13th was just the New Line era, man. I just feel like they didn't. And I know I love Jason X, and I know you love Jason Go Straight to Hell.
Listen, it is what it is. The reality is Jason Goes to Hell was simply done as they realized, wait a minute, Freddy's Dead made a hell of a lot of money. Why don't we take our time developing FVJ and put some dough and make some, we bought this character. Why don't we do more than just one movie with it? That was the origins of that movie. Anyway, I get it. And then Jason X was literally just, we have to do something with this character so people don't forget about him.
Yep.
So I get
shelf.
it.
Yeah.
So Freddy versus Jason, ultimately, I think there could have been another Elm Street film post Scream 2 that could have been massive, And I'm sure if I looked at the box office for Nightmare on Elm Street, it's probably fucking insane from 2010.
It made over 100 million.
So yeah.
But here's the thing, that when I say the cultural significance, I'm talking like specifically about Friday the 13th came out in 2009, made a lot of money, but it came and went. Like it wasn't like something that people talked about for years after that. Same thing with The Nightmare on Elm Street, except for the fact that they were like, That movie fucking sucked. But Halloween, dude, 20 years later, people still, Rob Zombie pissed so many people off. It had that cultural significance. It came out at the right time. It had the right director. Like it.
Here's the thing, and I agree with you. I think the characters of Jason and Freddy are equally as big as Michael. But the reality is, at the end of the day, the biggest movie out of anything we can mention here is John Carpenter's Halloween. And it always will be. At the end of the day, it trumps everything.
Yes,
culturally, but analogy than that, but it outdoes anything. No matter what you say, nothing is going to be bigger than John Carpenter's Halloween, and that's why it will always be looked at in such a incredibly higher stance regard. The when it comes out, it's like Halloween is probably the biggest horror film ever.
It's got the benefit of being titled a holiday too. Like that,
so
that definitely helped.
I think that's important when you're talking about why there's there was such more significance and there's such more.
But it wasn't a diss. I'm not.
No, I agree with you. I totally get what you're saying.
And I think
there's a layer to it.
Yes, but I think that Freddy inarguably is the most interesting character of all three of them. I don't even think that's arguable.
Well, we'll see when Crystal Lake comes out. We're gonna be turning some.
Well, we're about to talk about that, but I just wanted to. I wanted to ask
you. My light went out. I got to plug my light up. Talk. Okay. I'm listening. I'm going right here. These are wireless.
So with that, one, I want to ask you. You say Halloween is the biggest one of all of them. Would you say
Halloween,
that? Yes.
Halloween is bigger than anything.
What I would ask you after that, of all of them, would you say the next one is Dream Warriors? Just like culturally, because
no, I don't think there is a culturally relevant Elm Street. I think Freddy. I think the character is culturally relevant, not necessarily an individual movie.
Okay,
if I'm being honest, like you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair answer. I mean, Freddy Krueger is what is the engine that makes that thing go. I
think the character is culturally relevant, not necessarily a movie. The fans are the fans are the fans. We're the fans. It's like we can talk all day about it. But if you go up to anybody on the street and say, have you seen Elm Street? 9 times out of 10, they'll be like, oh, the Freddy Krueger movie? In the South, that's what they would say. The character trumps the movies. I don't think that's even debatable.
Okay, so then before we move on to Crystal Lake,
I'm not trying to be a contrarian to what you're saying.
No, I think
genuine reaction.
Yeah, I think you're right. The last question I have for you on this topic, and I hope we delved into this enough for you guys because I think we did. But who's your ideal director for this? Because look, man, if anybody has any doubt, this is going to happen. Like this is going.
I'll tell you who I think it should be.
Lee Cronin?
No.
Okay, Timo. You want Timo?
Just say it. We probably have the same choice.
Flanagan?
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you why. Flanagan, I don't think is going to be afraid to put, and sleaze isn't the word I'm looking for, but there needs to be an uncomfortableness to Freddy again, especially with a new take on the character. I don't think Flanagan would be afraid to go there. And that's my biggest thing is I think a lot of directors are going to be afraid to want to press that button. Mm-hmm. Like I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you walk out of that theater and you say, I didn't like that Freddy, that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's not the end of the world to dislike the villain in a movie.
Especially
that's how
a villain
fucked up
like
we are.
Freddy that murders, minors. Like you probably shouldn't lionize him.
And the problem now is, I have arguments with some Elm Street fans about this. You'd be surprised the amount of people that don't like the idea of him being innocent. And I don't think that needs to be the case now because to me, I don't care what anybody says. I still think Jackie was innocent. I do. I don't care what the movie showed at the end. because that build up and the way they did that was so good. I can't help it. To me, that character was innocent. And don't tell me you can't make sense of that. He makes a deal with the devil. And for all the atheists out there that are, the devil ain't real. Well, he's a fucking demon in a dream world. But you can believe in it? Can't believe in the devil? What are we talking about? Like, you can't make that distinction. But that's I think that ship has sailed. So I wouldn't want to see that at this point because it's just going to make me want to go back to Jackie. But, I think Joaquin doing that, I really think he could pull this off, dude. I'm not even kidding. I think he can do it.
Are you getting excited yet for Flanagan's Exorcist? Because I'm excited, man. I'm
Let
hopeful.
me tell you something. I don't know when people started disliking Scarlett Johansson, but all I gotta say is, have you seen the woman? I mean, it's not like she can't act to begin with, and she's beautiful. It's like she's a talented woman. She's beautiful. And you know what? I respect the fact that she does all kinds of movies. Like here's the thing, dude. Like, I got respect for the actors. Like, I have no respect for Robert Downey Jr. God bless his sobriety and what he overcame. God bless him for that. He's a sellout. You want to tell me you love acting, but all you want to do is make millions of dollars, put on costumes and colored draws? I got respect for Tom fucking Cruise. Let me tell you why. I saw a trailer for a movie called Digger in the theater. Mm-hmm. And I said, what the fuck is this avant-garde shit? I said, what is this movie? And then it came across the screen, Tom Cruise. And I said, that's a guy that loves the craft of acting. Mm-hmm. So I got no respect for what Robert Downey Jr. did. If he's doing other movies, I haven't heard about him. All I keep seeing him do is putting on colored suits and saying one-liners and getting paid millions of dollars to be thrown around in a blue screen. He's a sellout. I'm sorry. God bless him. Nothing against him. I'm glad he's healthy and he got over his addictions. I've been through stuff myself. I have no problem with the guy personally. I don't know him. But don't tell me he loves acting.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I will say,
am I missing something? What else is he doing? Is he doing other movies? Please, because I'll watch them.
Not really, but his career-defining performance for me is in Zodiac. I think that
it's a masterpiece. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Zodiac he's great in Zodiac.
Yep.
Gyllenhaal. That's a guy I respect. Gyllenhaal does everything.
Dude,
you saw him in that movie Prisoners?
Yeah, oh, fantastic.
You remember that scene where he goes up to Late Night with the Devil? He goes up to him and he goes, you bought children's clothes. And the guy looks at him. He's like, I did. And he snapped. Gyllenhaal snapped in a split second.
Yep.
That's acting. That's a professional.
No, that movie has, I love how you called him Late Night with the Devil. That movie has.
That's the guy.
Yeah, Gyllenhaal, fucking David Desmalchin, Paul Dano. Dude, that movie is fantastic. But yes,
it's a masterpiece.
But
that's Fincher. He could do Elm Street too.
Zodiac is also a movie that's littered with great actors. But I agree with you. Like Scarlett Johansson, she'll chase around CGI dinosaurs. She'll dress up as a superhero, and then she'll do a fucking demonic possession drama. Like
I like that. She likes to act, and I respect that. Doesn't mean I'm going to like everything she does, but the fact of the matter is, it's like, you can't tell me you love acting if you just want to get paid millions of dollars to do the same movie over and over again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
No, I don't necessarily disagree with you either. And that's the crazy thing too, is we've seen great performances from RDJ. Like one of his best performances is Tropic Thunder, dude. Like it's hilarious.
That's the thing. I'm a fan of his movies growing up. Dude, I like him in Back to School when he looks like he's a member of Flock of Seagulls in that movie. I don't know if you've seen Back to School, but he plays the best friend to what's his face from Jaws 2, the kid that's in the boat, one of the kids in the boat. And I love him in Back to School. That's when he was like he was the dorky kind of goth kid in the movie. Mm-hmm. he has done so many movies I love. Robert Downey. He did a movie where he's driving cross country with some jackass in the car, and they keep getting in trouble, and it's like a Dumb and Dumber type movie.
It's
Like he
him
has
and
done.
Zach Galifianakis. Yeah.
Yes, he has
Yeah.
done such great movies that I love, and I think he's so talented. But now all he wants to do is put on costumes and, you know, superhero green screens. Don't tell me. Get out of here, dude. I challenge him. Do something else. Like I rolled so hard when I saw that clip of them being like, guess who we got for Doctor Doom, and it's him. And I'm like, dude, could you at least like work out for these movies? Like you look like a shrimp. Like he looks like he's like 90 pounds. You ever seen him lately? Like I'm sure he's taking Ozempic or whatever. He's like 5'3", 76 pounds, and he's got like the most heavy metal fucking Savatage looking mask I've ever seen. Demon's mask. Pulls that shit off, and it's Robert fucking Downey Jr. 86 pounds soaking wet. Dr. Doom, get the fuck out of here. Dr. Doom. When you hear Dr. Doom, you think it's gonna be some motherfucker showing up in this bitch, you know, and then it's him. And I'm sure like his arm was straining, holding the mask to the side. It's like, get out of here.
Hey, well, let me. I will say though, and I don't have a dog in that fight, but I know MCU fans were happy when he was coming back. You know, like I'm happy for you, like I am, but I'm with you, man. I just. But all that is to say, man. So yeah, the answer is yes. Then you're looking forward to Flanagan's Exorcist.
Not only am I looking forward to it, it will at least be 3.5 stars, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think.
What's
so
the worst Flanagan movie you've ever seen?
Oh, that's a hard question. It's probably either Oculus or Gerald's Game, and both of those
they're both good.
Yeah, they're both good.
I rest my case.
Yeah, the guy has yet to make something where I was like, yeah, not a fan. So, okay, well then let's get right into Crystal Lake, dude. You've been teasing it. You got a lot to say. I want to ask you really quick. Do you think A24 did that on purpose? Right after the nightmare news breaks, they're like, fuck you. We're going to give you Jason now. We're not going to let Freddy rule the internet today.
That's a good question. I don't remember exactly who broke what first.
It was Nightmare, and then like an hour later, Crystal Lake's trailer came out.
What day was that? Was it a Friday?
No. God, what was that?
I'm sure it's semantics at this point. I don't know. Who's to say? If they did, good on them. May as well. You know, it's Freddy versus Jason over again, which is fine by me. I was pretty adamantly against the idea of the show. But as the pictures started coming out, as the leaks started happening, as the set design started being revealed, or the sets themselves started being revealed with the casting of Linda, I said, maybe. And then I started seeing more and more. There's a shot that leaked online of Linda coming out the diner, and you see Crazy Ralph. And I said, that looks really good. That looks like Friday the 13th, not Jason. And I'm not saying Friday the 13th as in Jason. I'm talking about the world. I said, that looks like Friday the 13th. And so I started changing my tune a little bit. And I started thinking about it more. And then I saw that they got Texas Chainsaw. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to be so bad. Because at first I was pretty adamant against A24 doing all this shit. Because I said to myself, here's a studio that prides themselves on seeming like very original, having unique movies coming out and just competing with these superhero movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. And, you know, probably 4 or 5 months ago, before the announcement of Texas Chainsaw happened, I remember when it first came out, I was upset, but I remember 4 or 5 months ago, somebody said, Christian, there's this found footage movie I watched online, man. It's really good. I said, send it to me. Cause I'm like flies on a piece of shit with found footage. I circle them. And so I watched this movie called Milk and Cereal, and I said, this is really good. This is who is this guy? Who's this creepy looking bastard? This blonde haired kid. He's creepy. And so I watched the movie. I talked about it. Nobody listened. Nobody cared. I don't blame them. Who is this guy? And then the day came. They announced Curry to do Texas Chainsaw right before Obsession came out. And I went online. I said, I've never been more excited in my life. And people said, what are you talking about? You bitched and moaned for days, Christian. I said, because I know this guy. I get it. I get what A24 is doing now. I get it. It's like they're going to let talented people put their stamp on this with an original aspect to it. And so I started to really getting back to Crystal Lake. I don't know what it was about that, but I said to myself, I have never been more hopeful with Crystal Lake than I am after hearing all that news. So, and I bet you money, Nick, I can't say this happened. I bet you money Daniel Pearl saw Obsession before putting a stamp of approval on Curry. I would bet money he saw the movie before saying, I think we should get Curry involved. And I also hope that Curry uses Daniel to do Texas Chainsaw. You know, that's a story for a different day, though, because he did the remake. We know that. But anyway, my tune has changed 180, and I feel like a hypocrite for being that way, but it's how I feel. I'd rather be honest and be called a moron than lie and be called a moron. So when the trailer dropped, I didn't like the trailer. It was way too fast-paced editing style and cut, splash, Jason, sounds, kiki, ma. It was way too fast, and which that's not Friday. Friday the 13th is not fast. Friday the 13th is moderate, and I wish the trailer would have reflected that, but that's modern marketing. It's everything's TikTok speed. We know that. But I looked at the trailer a couple times. I don't like watching trailers, but in this case, I watched it, and I said to myself, every shot I saw looked like 1979 New Jersey. Yep. And then I was like, I'm ready for the show. So that's my long-winded diatribe.
No, I agree with you. If nothing else, and I'm going to have a video coming out in a couple days or so, and I've already got it together. And I talked about Jason Goes to Hell in the video. And one big issue I have with that movie is, I don't feel like it feels like Friday the 13th. Like it doesn't, and it's what you were just describing. It's the locations, it's the pace, it's the aesthetic, it's the tone. Like it didn't, even some of the weaker Friday movies for me, like The New Blood, for example, is not one of my favorites, but it still feels and looks like Friday the 13th. And that's what's interesting is that like Jason Lives is a fan favorite. And I like Jason Lives as well. But that one doesn't really feel like Friday the 13th. So like it doesn't have to for it to work. But this show, I think was going to be, its success was going to be predicated solely on, can you sell me that this is the 1970s in New Jersey? Like, can you say, I think it actually takes place in the 60s, but like, I know what you mean. Like, just
right. The show. Well, here's the thing. Yeah. Does the show take place in the 60s and the late 70s, early 80s? Dude, they said they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. But this is, I believe the synopsis is this is after Jason supposedly drowns.
Because you saw in the trailer, they recreated the opening scene. Hey, we weren't doing nothing. We were just up here. Remember when they gets the mama kills the kids?
Yeah,
dude, they recreated that. So I have no idea time-wise what to expect.
Are they going to be able to use Manfredini's music?
I'm from everybody. That's the thing. I said in my initial reaction to it, I said the number one factor for me that makes this feel like that makes it taste like a Friday the 13th film is that schizophrenia Manfredini music. And somebody said, well, Christian, he's doing it. What are you talking about? Hope, he's doing it. And I said, well, that's news to me. And he go, no, Christian, he did the score. He did the entire score for the show. And I said, we're dude, this is going to be good shit.
Did you look that up to verify?
Yeah, I Googled it. And then the Google told me that he did it.
Manfredini, Crystal Lake.
Google said he did it.
Yep, he is. Yeah, he scored Crystal Lake. Wow.
Dude, the son of a bitch was writing pages and pages of music for this show.
Oh my God. All right.
Dude,
well, then, yeah.
I hope he goes Jason Goes to Hell. Dude, the Jason Goes to Hell soundtrack. Dude, the fucking violinist in the opening, like in the violin's just going. They gave the violinist methane before recording that score.
I'll tell you what, though, that opening of Jason Goes to Hell is the best part of that movie. Okay?
Dude, there's a guy on the soundtrack for Jason Goes to Hell where they gave him a fucking like. They gave him a pen and they gave him like a metal handrail and they said, "Hey, dude, just slide this thing and make a ping sound." You know that you listen, just go that. You know what I'm talking about in the background? There's some kid just like flinging a pen against a metal rail in a soundtrack of Jason Goes. You know what I'm talking about? Dude, some kid recorded that shit. Somebody said, Hey, drop the mic. We got something for this. Let me lay a track on this, Harry. And Harry's like,
I was gonna say,
like,
behind
the board. Yeah. Let me key that in.
Like, hell yeah, dude. This is
anybody that's seen the movie, they know exactly what I'm talking about in the soundtrack. And now you hear it, dude. That's some fucking kid with a pen on a rail going over and over again.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily want Crystal Lake to go to that, but I will say that I didn't know that Manfredini was scoring it, so that's awesome. But
that is probably the most important thing, honestly, is Harry doing the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So that's really, dude. I'm excited. So come October 15th, I am going to just take it all in, dude.
It all drops at once, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish it was one at a time. I really do. I wish it was one at a time because don't you remember back in the day when you would, dude, did you see Seinfeld last week? Oh, dude. And you talked about it and you built it up to the next episode. Kids today don't understand that, dude.
No,
well, they kind of do because some shows still do that, but it's like, dude, I don't feel like doing the rat race and binging the whole show.
I was just about to fucking say those exact words. There's going to be a rat race of people trying to binge it all and then be the first to be like, here's my review on the entire series. And it's like, I'm not going to do that myself. Look, dude, how many episodes? 8, I think 8
something
or 10,
like
something like that. That's going to be a fucking full day. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to park my ass on the couch and watch. Like, there's no way. So, also, I feel like you can't savor it as much, you know? Like, there's something to be said for that anticipation of like, fuck, dude, I want the next episode. Like, that's how I felt.
I'm gonna enjoy it and just watch a couple episodes, maybe talk about it. Nobody's building a channel off this fucking show anyway, so let's be real, you know? No. So, like, I just want to enjoy it, do a couple episodes, talk about it, then go back. Like, it's like, I'm going to, just for my own addiction to the franchise, I want to watch it as fast as possible. But like, fuck trying to be, you know, get the first video out on the entire fucking show. Yeah, no. The ending explained. Like, that's the thumbnail. Ending, Chris Lake explained.
Yep.
You know, Fuck you.
Oh man. And you're going to see so many of them too. You're going to see so many of them. But it's funny how the roles have reversed. Like, very recently, Nightmare's coming back, Friday's about to be back, and then Halloween is just like dead.
Okay, so I got to say something. Halloween is not dead. And I have a source. His name is Sean Clark. And I'll tell you exactly. This is public. I'm not telling you something that he just told me prior. I'm telling everybody. So Sean did a video the other day about Halloween 25 Years of Terror where he just trashed Anthony Massey for 2 hours.
Fuck Anthony Massey.
And he doesn't mean that late. We don't know what they're. He doesn't get into detail. He's actually a nice guy.
I know.
I'll tell you what I really think it is, Nick. Without getting into like a drama thing, I think those guys operate so differently that there was just friction. Like, he told the story on that video, that podcast video, that like when they went to go interview Rosenthal, that Anthony got mad and embarrassed that Sean brought stuff for him to sign. And then he said that later on, Anthony said that he brought like 12 things when Sean said, all I brought was 2 things to begin with, but he acted like I was embarrassing him by doing it. I think these guys are very different.
Yeah.
And I think that they just don't gel together. But anyway, there may be more to it. I'm sure there is, because he talked about it. But anyway, that's not my point. My point is they got on the subject, and one of the guys was a British gentleman that was involved with the original convention too. I don't remember his name. I apologize. But I was cutting the grass listening to this, and then the British gentleman says something to the effect of, that's the 50th anniversary. We haven't heard anything about the convention. And Sean says, I'm trying to talk to him about getting the announcements. We have to plan this. We have to start planning this literally ASAP if we're going to do it. And he goes, it will be the last one I ever do. If I do another one after this, it's not on me. This is my last one. So, and he goes, I'm sure we will do it. But, I'm trying to get the ball rolling. They always wait till the last second, and then they act like it's my fault that nothing's been planned yet. And then the guy says, he's like, yeah, it's just like, what's going on? It's like the movie's turning 50 in 2 years, and it's like they don't have anything happening. And Sean just goes, oh, there's absolutely stuff happening that I know of, but obviously it's not public yet. So he said that on that video. So there's something going, whether it's a new release of Halloween, something else, an announcement, or whatever, there's something apparently going on behind the scenes. And why wouldn't there be? But what would it be?
You guys heard it here first.
Halloween I think it 3D. Should be. Well, I mean, they really heard it first on Sean, but dude,
zombies coming back.
I say resurrect the script. No, dude, do it exactly the way they were gonna do it. Let Patrick come back, direct it. Let's do it. Yeah, Dimension Extreme DVD.
Yeah, dude, I'm in.
They should only release the movie on Dimension Extreme DVD. That's the only way I want them to release the movie.
That's the thing about this, though, is that Sean has been saying that for years, and he's not wrong. A little inside baseball for all you guys listening right now. Sean told Christian and I about the game before that was public. We knew that was coming. There were rumors, but Sean told us, like, yeah, it's that they're going to announce that. And so I don't doubt that there are irons in the fire. My thing is, what are they? I mean, it's probably going to be a movie. That's the most recent reporting, is that they're shifting their focus to a movie because all the TV series ideas just didn't seem to get off the ground. What the fuck do you do, though, Christian? Like, seriously.
Thank you. Nothing.
Like, I'm a Halloween fan, and I'm sitting here going, like, that news doesn't excite me. Like, that doesn't get me feeling good or hopeful. I'm just kind of like,
I'll tell you what would really be good is an actual documentary, 8.5 hour long, going through every fucking movie. Oh, dude, there may be a chance. I don't have any inside source on this, but
you about to tell me that footage might be able to come to light?
Why would my thing is, at this point, why wouldn't it be? The
Bob
people
Weinstein
that
owned it.
ED. So owned. Does he own it now?
Oh, erectile dysfunction.
Actually, but who?
Probably not. The Weinstein Company.
Say that again. You froze for just a second.
Probably not. The Weinstein Company got liquidated.
Yeah. So who at this point, who owns that footage? It's not like it got released or licensed out. Like, you have to license anything that's put. I don't know. My point is, if that documentary came out, dude, I think it would be the biggest thing since sliced bread. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Christian, I would take the day off work that it was coming out. I'd watch all 8.5 hours.
Dude, not only would you take the day off work, you'd fucking wear Depends so you could piss and shit.
No, I'm telling you. and I would get into the rat race for that, because I've made multiple videos about that footage, and I would be like, what happened on the set of Halloween 2? Like, dude, I know. You have no idea how bad I need that.
And let me tell you something, Nick. There's a bloodthirst for it, because I was just I tried, like, when on Sunday is my day to try to record some videos, and I remember Sunday just trying to think of some fun stuff to do. I had no ideas, and I was like, "Fuck it!" Like, I'm feeling Rob Zombie, and I did. And dude, the video did good. Did good, and it's like there is absolutely an interest for that.
Yep.
I think it's at a fever pitch now. I'm not fucking kidding, because I was right around the same time I rewatched the Rob's movies again, the Halloweens, and I'm dead ass serious, dude. At the very least, whether you like the direction he went in or not, you can't say it's not original. And in a world where everything is wash, rinse, repeat, you have to go look back on that and give it credit. Like, I did a podcast. These guys asked me to do a show last month, and Rob Zombie got brought up again. And I said the same thing. And it's like, none of those dudes, Revival House, awesome guys. You would love them. I should tell them to bring both of us on so we could, because they were cool. They let me argue, cut people off, and fight. And dude, I went to bat for Rob. And I was like, you can't say that what he did was unoriginal.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that, of you saying,
and it's like, dude, it's like, you can't. And it's like, I think the fever pitch to see that documentary is got to be the biggest holy grail in Halloween history. Like, if somebody said, Christian, you could own the original Myers mask. It's in this protective case that you can't open up. It can't be exposed. It's airtight. You can never, or you can see the Rob Zombie. I would say, hey, do me a favor. I want you to get that Halloween mask ready, box it up, and then dump it in the fucking ocean and give me that goddamn documentary. Because that's what I want to see. More than anything. I want to see Bob Weinstein. He tells a story of Bob Weinstein coming to set in Georgia, Halloween 2. And he says that, this is my favorite story. Rob says that he's like, the first or second week they're filming, he says, like, it's a day, probably like when they're at the record shop, it's all those girls there. And Rob says, Bob just randomly flies into Georgia, walks on set, and he says some of the girls walk up to introduce him, and Bob goes, I don't care, fuck you. And then goes up to Rob, plays him the Halloween trailer, and says, this is what we're looking for. And I love Rob's impersonation, because it sounds like fucking Scrooge. He goes, this is what we're looking for. And Rob goes, who the fuck you think made that movie? But I just love the fact that it's fucked up. Don't get me wrong. He's a piece of shit. I think Bob is equally as disturbed as Harvey in his own way. But he says that Bob shows up and the girl's like, hi, Mr. Weinstein, I'm so-and-so. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know, the way to imagine that. He sounds like Freddie. Who gives a fuck?
That's why I want to see it. That's why I need to see it.
My hope is the exact moment is recorded. My hope is that the exact moment that Bob Weinstein shows up at the record shop and the girl's like, hi, Mr. Weinstein. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, let's be real here. I just want to say, and this pains me to say it. If Rob was more proud of Halloween 2, we would have gotten that footage by now, because he would have pushed.
Well, you know what? I wish somebody who interviewed him would say, why hasn't that documentary came out? Because if for some reason Rob just said, I don't know if anybody cares to see that, I would say, you have no fucking idea how bad people want to see it. Mm-hmm. And just put that nugget in his head. Rob seems to live in his own little world, and it's a world he created. God bless him for that. But my point is, I could totally see Rob saying, I don't know, who wants to see that at this point?
Yeah, because he thinks that everybody hates Halloween 2 as well. And let me just say, Rob, you're fucking wrong. We want the documentary. You give us the Halloween 2 documentary.
The Weinstein doc.
Release the Bob Weinstein cut. We want to react to it live on our podcast. Please, for the love.
Listen, I would do it. I would absolutely react.
So would I.
But here's the thing. If we reacted to it, it would be 15 hours because we'd be pausing while we're listening and watching.
You already gave the solution. Day off work? Depends. Buddy. You got nothing else to do that day. I'm telling you right now. The world would fucking stand still that day. Nothing would happen. If my kid was here, find something to do, motherfucker. You don't exist today. Like, I don't know what to say.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, hey, Dad. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, no, we need this. And I'm clipping that section out and I'm posting that on Instagram and I'm tagging Rob Zombie.
Tag Rob and Sherry.
And I'm telling you, every one of you guys too, flood Rob's comments. Rob.
And hey, collab it with me so it can be do it on Uneeda, collab you and me to it so we can share it all of our audience to see it.
Yes.
Because I am at that point. Release the Weinstein doc.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with the bullshit.
It's
locked up in a vault. Fuck it. No. Bob Weinstein and Harvey Weinstein are fucked.
Oh,
okay?
Dude. So here's the thing. I gotta cut you off for a second. I remember when I dropped that video, and I'm sure you might have had the same thing in your videos, because I remember seeing it's been a couple of years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
In my video I just did like a month ago, people were saying, they said, Christian, I know this is hard to believe. I swear to God, back in like 2011, I used to remember seeing clips of the making of that movie. They were extremely low quality, and there were like 15. Is that bullshit, or are they talking?
No, I've seen them. Somebody sent me years ago on Facebook after I made a video or I talked about it on YouTube. This was in like 2022. Somebody had messaged me and was like, hey, I have some of those ripped from when they were on YouTube. And I was like, no fucking way. And I don't know if the person's I can't remember who sent them to me. I can't for the life of me, but I know they watch Uneeda. Chime in the comments. Please jog my memory. Somebody sent me a couple of the files that they had ripped onto because they got taken off YouTube, and I watched them. And
which means that they really don't want that footage out.
No, they knew. No. Rob has talked about how Bob Weinstein specifically was like, absolutely not. That shit is not getting out. Like it's not because I believe in Rob's own words. Bob knew it would make him look like a madman because he was.
And when did Rob talk about that? Was it years ago in like in an interview?
Oh yeah, this was. I don't think this was with Howie Mandel. He might have touched on it a little bit with Howie Mandel, but I could be wrong. It was a podcast interview. I'm trying to remember, man. But I know I sourced it. I sourced it in my video. I'm pretty sure. Not the clip, but like where he was talking about it from. And if you Google it or like AI it, I'm sure it would tell you when he's commented on it.
I'm doing it right now.
But because he said the specific words once, and I can't remember what the forum was. That quote, that footage is locked in a vault somewhere. That was those were, I'll never forget. Those were his exact words. That footage is locked in a vault somewhere. And I was like, whose fucking vault? Where is this vault? I will break the fuck into it. No, you want to talk about, bro, but here's the thing. The few clips that I was sent, they weren't.
Oh, that's cool. Whenever I Google this, your video, Google posts your video as
nice.
That's really cool. Nice. Really quick, just so I can give a little bit of context. It says Rob Zombie revealed that his 8-hour making of documentary for Halloween 2 was suppressed because Dimension and the Weinsteins blocked its release. He explained that the footage exposed a deeply toxic and hostile production environment, capturing constant studio interference, and how miserable the experience was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Weinstein and Dimension, pretty much just Weinstein, were like, no, the public is not going to see this footage. And Rob didn't own it. It wasn't Rob's footage. He couldn't just unilaterally say, fuck you, we're releasing it. But dude, I'm sorry. This is not as hard to get out as the producer's cut of Halloween 6. It is just objectively not as hard to get out as that footage was. And we got
it's not like there's no restoration work or editing. It's literally just put it on a fucking drive.
And I don't know about you, dude, but Michael Lives, that 4.5-hour documentary on Halloween is awesome.
I think it is one of the, I could see anybody that wants to become a filmmaker looking at that as not homework, but research.
I did when I was making my fan film. I'm not shitting you, dude. I'm not shitting you. But yeah, I get it.
Was that Halloween
I,
Sam Hain, The
Sam
Rise
Hain,
of
evil
Michael
never die,
Myers?
evil never dies. But no, I know it's funny, but like there was a period when I was a teenager where I was like, I thought I wanted to go to UCLA and study film. Like that was for like a 3-year period. That's what I wanted to do. And Michael Lives was the documentary that I was like, you know how it is, man. You don't see documentaries that start from pre-production every fucking day on set to
Amazing.
post-production. You don't see that. And Michael Lives, it chronicles the whole thing. So it's just really cool. I'll never forget one of my favorite parts of that documentary is when they're location scouting in the beginning and Rob's phone goes off and it's the Halloween theme. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get sick of that real quick. Like they hadn't even started rolling cameras yet, but I genuinely do believe in my heart of hearts. And I think you know this too, man. I think the biggest reason Rob never pushed for this more, dude, the fan base burnt him out, man. The reception to his movies burnt him out. The Weinsteins burnt him out. When he turned in his final cut of Halloween 2, he said, I'm done. See ya. Fuck you guys. Bye. And the crazy thing is, I listened to a podcast and their review of Halloween 2, one of the guys on the podcast was at the premiere of Halloween 2 at the Chinese Theater in LA, the night that it world premiere. And he said Rob got up on the stage before the movie started. And he was like, I want to thank, my cast and my crew, like this movie, like for all they went through. And he basically said like making this movie was hell. And I'm shocked we even got it made. And, I hope you guys enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. But like in his opening salvo before world premiering that movie, he said he did not thank the producers. He openly talked about how making it was hell and he couldn't believe they got it done. And when he turned that shit in, he was done, man. Like Rob doesn't want to talk about Halloween. Doesn't want to talk about it. And it fucking sucks, dude, because I don't think he realizes, and you're right, he's insulated. He's chosen to be that way. Rob definitely does not see the shit that's said about him on social media. He could care less. But because of that insulation and that bubble that he lives in, I don't think he realizes, bro. There are so many of us that
he is such an instrumental. The way he talks about Alice, when he talks about being a kid, and Alice Cooper was like a hero to him, and he is a staple of a part of his life, and in a moment in time in his life. Rob is like that for us. Like he is a part of our life in a way that when you think of 2005 through 2009, it's the most Rob Zombie era of all time. Like people, every time I talk about Rob, I tell people you really don't understand if you were a young kid, because I can't believe we're far away from the 2000s now, that people are fucking adults now. But I said, if you were a very young child in the 2000s, you don't get how big he was. Like he ruled Fuse MTV. His records were fucking selling huge. And his movies were the biggest thing on earth. Like you could not escape it, but you didn't want to escape it because it was so fucking cool. It was the first time. It's like Rob's brand of throwback wasn't even actually. I think it was so good because it really wasn't throwback. It's like Rob was just doing the movies that he liked. It wasn't him trying. It was just, dude. It's just.
Rob made movies.
If we're guilty of glazing Rob, if we're guilty of glazing Rob, fine, so be it. But I'm sorry, like I will take how I still think House of Thousand Corpses is one of the most insanely rewatchable, entertaining, incredible horror films of the 2000s, and I always will.
Yep,
I always will.
Yeah, but dude, like if anybody shit on us for that, because we do glaze Rob, but like we're both in our 30s. That was our generation.
That was our time, man.
Yeah, like we came up when Rob was coming up as a director. And I saw almost every one of his movies in theaters. I was too young to see House of a Thousand Corpses, but like Halloween 2, 31 for whatever reason. It's a fun movie, but yeah. Like The Munsters, when it came out, I watched it the day it came out on Netflix. I bought The Haunted World of El Superbeasto on DirecTV the night it came out because it was Rob and I had to see it. Like, that is just, it's just a part of our era. Like, I don't know. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. And we've said this many times, but I will just reiterate this again. And like I said, I am going to clip this out. We need that Halloween 2 footage. Like I need air to breathe. It's just now, honestly, Christian, I think the best case scenario here would be an announcement of both movies coming to 4K, and the 4K of Halloween 2 is going to have the documentary on it. And like, I can die happy.
For the record, I prefer the director's cut of Halloween 1. I prefer the theatrical of Halloween 2.
Yep.
And it's not even about the die, it's about the music cues in the theatrical.
Not just that, but
on God, the theatrical ending of 2 with the Laurie theme is where
fantastic. Yeah, I don't like the Love Hurts cover in the director's cut.
First off, you don't fuck with Nazareth.
No,
you don't do it.
No,
that's disrespectful.
And I also feel like Laurie's theme. That, by the way, that's Laurie's theme in halftime, which is crazy. It's slowed down, so it's even creepier. But that music cue works perfecally in that moment.
Oh, dude,
so
it's
like
money. It's cash money.
Yeah.
From a 99 and 2000.
Look, guys, I got one more topic before we go, Christian, because we haven't talked about this together on the podcast because it's been a couple weeks and we both saw it. And, some of the reaction has been really interesting. Dude, I fucked with Evil Dead Burn really, really heavy, man. It's my third favorite Evil Dead movie. And the internet would have you believe that like everybody hates it, even though the audience score is identical to Evil Dead Rise. I think it's just more so the people that didn't like it really didn't like it, and they're being really loud about it. But I think it mostly went over the same way as the last one in mass. I loved it. And I was worried before you saw it. I was like, man, but I was like, this is right up his alley. Like, I know he's going to like it. And you did. I watched your video and you said, depending on the day, over time, it might surpass 2013 for you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the criticisms, I always say this, I respect anybody that can express why they dislike something. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it, though. I do find it odd that we are actually in a place now where people are upset that an Evil Dead movie is too violent. Like, stop and think about that for a second.
Yeah.
And then people don't like. Here's the thing. I just came off of watching 2 foreign films. I saw 2 foreign films. I saw a movie called The Vanishing, and I saw a movie called Cure from Japan. It's phenomenal. It was a movie that the director saw 7 and said, I can do that and I can do it better. And he did. It's an amazing film, Cure. But my point is, so I just had my appetizer for foreign again. If you stop watching foreign films, you forget the flavor of the way they make those movies. They're a lot of different countries. Their movies just they're 10% more depressing feeling en masse, right? And so that I had my appetizer right before seeing Evil Dead Burn, and it was perfect because I was in that mode. And I thought the movie looked black and white, and I thought maybe it was just a stylistic choice, which it was. But what I loved about it was the whole look of the film was a metaphor. Because once once everybody is out of her life that either doesn't want to give her own grace or want her to feel protected and happy and be in a world where she can feel completely safe, when all it was done, do you notice that the world turned bright and the colors came in at the very end? Remember that? Mm-hmm. It was a metaphor. The whole movie looks dull and gray because she's under this abuse and the family doesn't believe her. She has friends that believe her, but the family and the parents, they hate her. They blame her for the husband dying. Dude, it was brilliant. And it was foreign. It was a dark subject, and I loved it. We have seen the comedy be perfected already. Again, what Bruce did and what Sam did, they perfected it. I look at Army of Darkness as the exclamation point on those movies. I like that the 2013 one said, well, we're gonna veer left. Because clearly our Army veers right. We're gonna veer a little bit more left. And instead of that road kind of winding back center, that road's winding more and more left. And I'm liking it. And people didn't connect with the characters. There's always I didn't like any of them. I got news for you. Neither did I.
It's kind of the point.
So, I truly don't understand the argument. Help me. I'm asking the audience, if anybody in the comment section can actually help me understand. Am I supposed to want to get coffee with the dad to like the movie? I'm asking.
No,
they
but
clearly pushed it to a dark. As an audience member, I felt uncomfortable, and I think that was the point. This is a horror film, ladies and gentlemen. This is horror. When you feel those feelings of grief, disgust, when they do what they did to the dog.
Yeah, dude.
If your reaction is, I hated that scene, that pissed me off. Good. They're evoking that out of you, jackass. You're supposed to like it.
Yeah.
If you do, you got problems. I don't get it. Oh, fuck the ending of The Mist, dude. I can't believe they did that. You don't get it. They got what they wanted out of you. They want to evoke an emotion out of you. That's what they're doing. I don't understand it. Am I losing my mind?
No, I mean, here's the thing. I've made the case over the years too. I understand the criticism of I didn't like the characters, because I'm someone I want to have a character to latch onto in movies as well. Here's the thing. I feel like we are sympathetic to Alice, and we do care about Alice. And when she overcomes
the wife,
yeah,
right,
yeah, and when she overcomes everything and fights back and pushes back against the family and takes the power back, you like her. Everybody else in the movie is unlikable, and that's entirely the fucking point. That family is supposed to be oppressive in many different ways. They're sucking the life out of this woman. They're all horrible people in different ways. Yeah, that is literally the fucking point. The moment where I realized, okay, I like Alice and I saw it twice in theaters. I saw it a second time when I was in Florida because my brothers wanted to see it. None of them had seen it. And I was like, let's go see it. So we went and saw it. And the best moment for me is when she's in the bathroom trying to pull by the way, the ear scene fucked me up, dude. That shit. Oh man. But when she's trying to pull that out with tweezers and the fucking mom is running her mouth and she turns around and she's like, well, you just shut the fuck up. And she's like, you knew your son's a fucking asshole. You're all pieces of shit and you deserve everything that's happening to you. In that moment, I was like, yes, fuck yes. And by the way, after that bathroom scene had one of the coolest sequences in Evil Dead for me. In the entire series, what he did with the camera when she wraps the curtain around her head and then pulls her up the wall and up onto the ceiling, and how he fucking I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. The camera just fucking flips around and does a 180. That shit was awesome. Seamless. And there were so many moments in that movie when the car's upside down and it's catching on fire and Will is after the accident and the camera's doing that Raimi kind of tracking thing, but it's turning around as it's going toward the window. Awesome. When she's laying on the front lawn as her husband is coming out of the burning house and the camera slowly turns around 180. Dude, I said this director, Sebastian Vanacek, he was in such control visually
Yeah.
of this movie. It's undeniable. Undeniable. I loved it. I loved it, man.
I'm excited to see it again because I thought it was scary, number one. You know, I really did. And I like the bleakness of it. I don't want the follow up to be like that, which apparently it's a prequel. So that's fine, I guess. So I think it'll get its fans. I think it'll win people over time. You know, it's an original take, that's for sure. And I like that about that. I remember you told me to stay for a credit scene, and I stayed. And then I saw like somebody, like the grandma out in the street, and I was like, that's cool. And then I left, and then somebody was talking about Bruce, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It was a grandma. And apparently there was another one after that at the end of the movie.
In my defense, I did tell you there was two. There was a mid credits and an end credit. And your exact words to me were, I can barely stay for a mid credits. Ain't no way I'm staying for a fucking end credit scene.
Okay, well, when I was in the theater, I saw the grandma and I got up and I thought that was it at the time. I guess I just forgot, but yeah, somebody was like, "Well, what do you think about Bruce?" I was like, "He's great. Well, what about him?"
Bruce is
I didn't know what they were talking.
Did you find out what the end credit scene is?
No, I didn't even bother to ask. You could tell me.
It makes no sense really in the universe, and it was apparently a studio mandate. But it goes back to the crematorium, and the lady who runs the crematorium, there's like a little girl there with her. I don't know if it's her granddaughter or daughter or whatever, but she's like, they go into a room and there's all these urns, and she's like, what are these? And she's like, oh, these are people's remains. And, you know, if the family doesn't claim them, we keep them here for X amount of time or whatever. And she's looking at them, and one of the nameplates says Ellie Bixler. And the grandma lady leaves, and the little girl hears something in the mirror or sees something in the mirror, and it's Ellie from Evil Dead Rise, the Deadite mom. And then she like touches her hand to the mirror, and then Ellie's gone. She's like, what the fuck? And then Ellie's behind her in her full Deadite getup, just like she looked like in Evil Dead Rise. And she breaks the little girl's neck. And the little girl, like, I mean, just blood spurting out of the neck, laying dead on the ground. And she says, Mommy's back. And it was over. So, and I understand why New Line.
I thought it was Bruce. Where's Bruce?
No, Bruce. No, it was not Bruce. Bruce.
Why did somebody say it was Bruce?
I don't know, but Bruce is in the movie. He's in photographs. He's the photograph of their grandpa in the book, when the journal, when the kid's going through it. And then he's also got a portrait on the wall on the staircase. But no, it's Ellie, the mom from Evil Dead Rise. She's somehow back, apparently. And but they asked Sebastian Vanacek about that, and he was honest. I respect the guy for it. He was like, look, I don't know. The studio was like, hey, you need to do this. This is a mandate. So he was like,
it's so crazy too, dude, because you said that's New Line, Warner Bros. It's like if they're getting sold, apparently they ain't taking their foot off the gas with these fucking movies they're doing.
No. But I think that after how big Evil Dead Rise was and how much people liked that character, I think they were like, we don't have Bruce Campbell anymore. So we found a character that audiences love. We need to try to bring this character back. So that's why they had the mandate. Doesn't really make sense, but was it cool? Yeah, it was cool. Like it was cool to see her back and everything. But yeah, I mean, this movie, it's going to do about half the box office of Evil Dead Rise. Now, granted, it's still very profitable. The budget was 20 million. It's going to cross 70 this weekend. So it's going to make like 4 times its budget. So it's Warner Bros. Ain't hurting off of it. But I do think releasing this in the dead of summer with so much competition was really fucking weird. And it's also really hard to market this movie because it looks really depressing. Like I can tell you in my review, so many comments from people like, yeah, it didn't look like a fun time. Like I'll wait for it for streaming. And I'm going to be honest with people. It's not. It's depressing. It's dark. It's extreme. When you hear people say it's a French extreme horror film, it is. And it's
I
not
mean,
in this.
movies can do that. That's okay. It's not against the rules. You don't have to like that's the thing, dude. It's like the maybe some of those crowd shows are like, yeah, foreign films, they just know. It's like maybe they're not exactly wrong when they preach about what like there's a movie, I don't know if you've seen this, Nick. There's a movie called The Sadness. It's either Korean or Japanese.
Mhm.
I've seen it. It is fucking insane. It's the Evil Dead in Asia, but dude, there's a scene that is so disturbing. There's a woman who gets her eyeball like gouged and it's hanging, and the guy goes up to her, unzips his pants, and you know what's about to happen. Like, that's how
Mhm.
fucked up The Sadness is. They go for it over there. They don't give a fuck.
That's
Can you imagine if they did it? Could you imagine if they did that in America? What people
no,
would say?
no,
It's like,
I
I don't
can't.
think you
Well,
don't
look at Speak No Evil. The remake they did for America. I liked the American remake. They did a completely different ending because you cannot sell that ending in America. You just can't. Like, if you've seen the original Speak No Evil, God, what was that? Swedish? Was it Swedish?
it, I,
Have
Speak
you
No
seen
Evil.
it, Christian?
The
The McAvoy,
no,
James McAvoy was the one in the remake.
I don't think I've seen either one of them.
Okay, so I won't spoil it for you, but I will just tell you this. The original, the ending is really fucked up. And the American version, I think a lot of people, when they went and saw it, were like, are they going to do the same thing? They did not do it. They changed the ending because there's just shit that they can get away with in foreign
Where'd you
films.
watch this?
Where?
Yeah.
I sailed the 7 seas for the original one.
What does that mean? Somebody said that to me before. I mean, you pirated it?
I pirated it. Yeah. And then for the remake, I saw the remake in theaters.
How'd you hear about it?
Somebody had, well, it piqued my interest when I kept seeing the trailer for the fucking American one because they showed it all the time for like 2 months before that movie came out. And I remember talking about it, and there were multiple people on YouTube that were like, oh, this is a remake. And the original is really fucked up. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. And I watched it like a week before the remake came out. And then I went and saw the remake the day it came out.
All right, I'm reading the plot of this.
The remake is
Okay.
actually like decent. It's a decent.
I don't give. I'm not watching it. I'm not watching the remake. I don't give a fuck about the remake. I'm gonna look for this movie.
I'm telling you right now, Christian. The
Don't
ending
say a
is.
word. Don't
I'm
say
not.
a
I
word.
told you I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just telling you.
But here's the thing: when you tell me, "Oh, dude, wait for the ending," that's saying something. I don't want you. I don't want to know.
But it was relevant to the conversation. You're talking about foreign.
No,
films
I understand that, but don't. But don't add to it. Don't say it again because now I'm just going to start running my. Yeah.
All right. You need to watch it. You need to watch it. And I did see a lot of people that are fans of the original were pissed off that the remake changed certain things. But I understood it too. There's certain things you just you can't sell to mass audiences in America because for whatever reason, there's so many people here that have such sticks up their ass. You know what's funny? And this will be a final good ending for this episode. When I was in Florida, my oldest sister, she's 41. Her husband and their kids came to Disney with us. And one night we were at the bar, all of us adults, and she was like, oh, it's been really cool. I've seen that your YouTube channel is doing really well. And like, I'm really happy for you and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, but I wanted to ask you something. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, do you not feel like it's wrong? Like being a Christian and like, she's like, I just don't get it. And I'm not saying it in like a judging way at all. Like I'm genuinely asking you, like, how do you square watching these movies and talking about these movies, but also like being a person of faith or whatever, because isn't that antithetical? And I said, not at all, actually. I think that these things have a purpose in the world. And I think their place in the world and why there's so many of us that are so fascinated by them is that I think it helps us deal with things that we have our subconscious fears, death and evil. And I think that when you can live vicariously through characters and see it on screen, knowing it's fiction, it helps you grapple with those realities at times, not even realizing that you're grappling with them, but you're seeing it stylized, and you know it's fake, and you can tell yourself it's fake, but it does something for your brain. And she was like, yeah, I guess I can see that. She's like, I can't do horror movies. Like I've rarely seen any. They just get to me so bad. Cause she brought it up because we just got back from seeing Evil Dead Burn. And she was like, I don't know how you guys went and saw that. And I just thought it was a really interesting thing because, and I think that ties back to what we were just talking to. I think that is why some of these American remakes of these foreign films that push the boundaries sanitize them in America, because I actually think it is a religious thing. Like, I think that they think that people of faith in the States, like, they're going to reject that. They're scared of the blowback. I've never viewed it that way though, because it's just fiction, man. Like it doesn't have to be for you, and that's fine. But like, maybe this is just me. I'd love to hear your perspective on it, but I think it's the same reason we're fascinated with serial killers, because there's just something in us that's like, we want to understand how somebody can do that, because we could never do that. So there's like something in our brain that's like, why would somebody do this? Like, what drives a person to do this? And I think it's similar for horror movies. A lot of us are scared of the finality of death, whether we accept that or not. We just are. Our brains are wired to want to be alive. We want life. We want conscious thought. So like, watching these things helps us grapple with that. Am I wrong?
No, I would echo everything you just said. But it's like, it's even more than that. I think we love stories, man. We love the feeling of being scared is like is feeling alive. And there's something cathartic about it when you get startled or scared, or it's fun. Like, how many times have you been in the theater where like something terrifying happens, and then once it happens, you look over and you laugh at your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you just like, oh shit, that got me. I saw you. You were scared. No, I wasn't. Remember the Thriller music video? You were scared, weren't you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's something fun about that. To me, horror is fun, man. But what I also love is movies that push it to make me feel an emotion that otherwise I wouldn't feel if I just didn't watch those movies. It's almost like flexing your soul, if you will, making you feel something. When you see a dog get boom in Evil Dead, does that mean I like it? Of course not. Does that mean I enjoy? Am I saying, please, we need more of that? No, I'm not saying that. But the people that were like, oh, that was just that was too far. No, that's the correct reaction. But this is the horror genre. I got news for you. The fucking dog was alive in 2 minutes, raising hell as a deadite dog. So what are we talking about? You remember the dog was like, the dog pulled up next to the dad, like, what the fuck y'all want? Like, I was like, dude, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. But my point is, I think watching horror is like flexing your soul muscle and make it like makes you feel. But dude, it's also like, what I love is those charming moments of the story. I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. Some people say he's still like, dude, that's what makes my hair stand up.
Loomis's monologues and the original Halloween, all of his monologues.
Dude, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. So you either get it or you don't. And it's like, no disrespect to you. That's your family. I'm not going to obviously disrespect, but when people have that reaction, like, isn't that antithetical? There's so many rebuttals I could give to responses, but I'm going to be absolutely respectful to your family member. I'm sure she's a lovely human being. But it's like, to me, it just merits no response. Like, I'm no,
and
you know,
and you're right. And I will just say, and I want to reiterate too, like, she was genuinely like asking, like, she was inquiring about it. Like, she was not judging. It was like, help me understand. Because I don't know. It wasn't like,
I believe you. I know it wasn't malicious.
Yeah. And it wasn't like,
I know it wasn't, I know it wasn't nose down at you the way she was asking it.
If it had been my grandma,
it's still an eye roll. It's still an eye roll, you know?
Yeah. Like, my grandma, may she rest in peace, it would have been looking down her nose at me. Like that, it's there. It's different, yeah. But which is funny because my mom told me my grandparents are the ones that took them to see Jaws in the theater. They took them to see Jaws and Jaws 2 in the drive-in when they first came out. But my entire life, my grandparents never talked about horror movies. They never owned any horror movies. My mom basically said they were anti that, like rock music and horror movies. I'm like, they must have been cool as shit before we were born. Then they took you guys to see a bunch of cool shit. Like,
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I don't know. Interesting question. I think it's an interesting dialogue, and I think we need to have it more. But yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, horror is supposed to elicit a response from you. And you said that thing that fear gives you the feeling of being alive. There was a wise man that once said that. His name was Busta Rhymes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say John Kramer.
No, Busta Rhymes.
Until you see death up close, then you know what the meaning of life is.
Well, both of them. But yeah, Busta actually says the exact line that fear gives you the feeling of being alive in Halloween Resurrection. So, he was right. Busta was ahead of his time. So, all right, good shit. We covered a lot of good shit. I feel like we dove into a lot of it too. It wasn't just like, let's pick on the surface here, there. No, I feel like this will be a good listen. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm jaded, biased, but whatever. Yeah, the next one, guys, we're doing it. We're mooning all you guys. Full moon. We're going to do it. I'm going to learn probably more than half of you guys that are watching because it's just not something I've ventured into aside from Puppet Master. I just don't have any other experience with it. So it's going to be educational for me. That's going to be Christian steering the ship on that one. I'm looking forward to it. We'll pick, I don't know when it'll be, a couple weeks or whatever, but before we head out, you got any parting words you want to leave with anybody or?
Guys, I'm sorry I could get belligerent on here. Sometimes it's just passion. It's not anger. I'm not angry at all. And I've been doing this for so long. It comes to point to where you reflect back and you say, why didn't you just say what you really felt? So just know that I'm not angry and I'm not an asshole. I'm actually a very nice guy. I'm actually very chill. I'm actually very quiet too in real life. Like I'm pretty low key.
Yeah, he'll take like 48 hours to respond to you. He's pretty quiet.
I feel like a dick, dude. I really try not to be on my phone too much anymore and just live in the moment. And I was showing Nick before he said he sent me a picture of something, and I was like, "Did you?" And I went and looked at my text. I have 94 unread texts. Most of them are bullshit, but I just got to where like I have my time throughout the day, and then I'll text and look at my stuff. But I'm really trying to live in the moment, man. I really am. My grandparents, God bless them, they're still here. And so I'm talking to them on the phone more and trying to see my grandma more. I'm trying to enjoy every moment I can. So I'm not on my phone and looking at messages as much.
My grandpa just turned 90. My grandpa just turned 90. Yeah.
God bless him. So, and that's my parting words for everybody is live in the moment. Even if you're listening to this podcast, which I hope you are, do something while doing that. Clean your house up, go on a walk, go outside, just do something while you do it. I think it's actually a great way to listen to this show too, is while you're a lot of people listen while they drive in. So,
yeah,
that's about it. As always, thank you guys for listening and watching. It's been a hell of a run, and I just appreciate it. A lot of people quit and they don't stick with it. There have been times not where I wanted to quit, but just where you get the burnout. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, these things aren't easy. You got to talk for 2 hours. It's not easy, but we've been doing it for a long time, and I'd rather take small breaks and do this than just stop. I don't like quitting. I really don't. So we've been doing it for 5 years now. So just God bless you guys who've been listening since day one. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I echo everything Christian said. I will say too, guys, I know that a lot of you will appreciate the belligerence that came from Christian tonight, because over the years, people have been like, oh, Christian seems so subdued sometimes. And then other times he's just, we miss the rambunctious Christian. Well, you definitely got that in tonight's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.
But if I'm upset or annoyed about something, I feel passionate about it. I let it out now. I need to, that way I can not think about it. Like I'm good. I said what I need to say about Freddie. I said it,
And guess what? Next episode, you'll probably get a lot of the same because he's going to be talking about something he's really passionate about, which is full moon. So make sure you guys tune in for that bad boy. Yeah, that's right. I have not. I've seen. I haven't seen like anything else, so I'm excited too. But yeah, guys. However you're listening to this, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like on it, and comment down below on anything we talked about. We want to hear your guys' thoughts, and I mean it when I say this. Tomorrow, that minute clip or whatever, us pleading for Rob Zombie to release this footage is going to go out on our socials. We're going to both share it. You guys share it far and wide. If we can make any impact, maybe Sherry just like sees it, and she's, oh, that's funny. Or Rob sees it, or Rob's publicist or whatever, whoever the fuck. At the end of the day, we need to get the conversation really going because that footage exists and it's about damn time that they realize we want to see it. So until next time, guys, thank you. We will see you on the next episode. Like I said, full moon. We'll be mooning you guys. And let me give you guys I'll give you a good one to go out on. How about this, Christian? We talk about belligerence and how you were fired up tonight and everything like that. Let's end this one on a somber note. Honestly, if I knew that it was going to bum me out that bad. The lows of this series are so goddamn low.
Fuck off with talking to me about Christian loves everything. You guys got to stop. Stop with the hobgoblins. Leave me alone. I don't fuck with y'all. Stop fucking with me. And no, I'm not watching hobgoblins on the podcast.
No, not a fucking chance. Look what y'all did. Y'all pissed Christian off. Y'all pissed him off. Congrats.